Okay, good morning. This is Jeremiah Barber, your professor. One of the big things that we'll be looking at today is primarily the article summary worksheet. All of you should be at this point, given how much leeway that is applied right now, you guys should all have 5 articles. Again, one of the big things that I kept reiterating at times was the fact that this is an article research paper, but again, you're not just looking for random articles. It has to coincide in regards to the research topic that you initially are looking at. So within that, let me discuss the article summary worksheet. So again, if you go on to your assignment, it's going to be listed there. So within that, each article summary worksheet is going to be worth 4 points. The reason why is you need 5 of them to garner all points. Again, these are articles. Let me stress this enough. I cannot stress this enough. Um, Articles, not bodies of work, not different areas of, say, for example, books or anything else. I'm not saying that books cannot be utilized because one of the things is it does state in your syllabus that one, you can utilize the book, but you cannot just utilize the book only. You have to have 5 additional articles. And I think that's one of the big things that I kind of consistently tried to stress, even in regards to grading your papers. And some of you have indicated articles and everything else. Some of it was very brief and everything else, which is amazing, which is great. But one of the big things I'm looking at for the article summary worksheet is one, and we'll read through it, directions: complete one article summary worksheet for each article used for your research paper. Again, I'm only looking at 5. If you go over, great, that's awesome, but I'm only going to count 5. You should have 5 as noted within the syllabus. Given the fact that this will be in digital format, please attach the abstract from your article to the last blank page. So this will be page number 3. So if you go all the way down, you scroll, and you get to paste abstract on this page, again, that's where your abstract goes. So you're going to cut and paste that onto there. One of the things is I urge you to do that. Why? Because then I know that you've actually gathered an article. If, say, for example, you pulled the article out of thin air, you put a reference number and everything else, that's great, but it's not going to do you any justice. So within that, that's one of the big things is I'm looking at is the abstract goes right here. Again, one of the things is we're going to go through this. So the bibliographic information is worth 1 point. So you have to have the author or authors of the article. So again, one of the big things I'm urging each of you to do is to learn how to implement APA formatting. So you're going to put the last name, full last name, and you go alphabetically. So you work from person all the way back, all the way to the front. So you're going to have last name, and then the first name, you abbreviate it. Their first name. So you're going to abbreviate it. And then you're going to have the title of the article. That's one of the things is I want your title of the article. If it's a long title, put it in there. Again, some of this may shift. If it shifts, just change up the format, everything else. But within that, try to make sure that you squeeze all the information in there. Name of scholarly peer-reviewed journal. That's one of the big things I'm looking at is it a peer-reviewed journal? If you're getting it from a .org website, that's one of the things you're going to have to list the website, but you're also going to make sure that it is from an actual organization and it is scholarly and peer-reviewed, as well as a .gov website containing the article. And again, if you go a little bit slightly right underneath, there's 2 stars that indicate no.com websites. This is a formal writing assignment. Some individuals have utilized blogs, they've utilized .com websites, they've utilized Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not a reliable source. I'm sorry if any individual is offended by that, but again, it is not a reliable source because again, the information has changed. It continues to change. These are primarily lay folk that will initially change the verbiage and also change the information all as it's being accumulated. So I urge you actually to one, not to utilize Wikipedia. No blogs, no Twitter posts. If, say, for example, you saw a great Twitter post from your, I don't know, best friend's friend of a friend of a friend, and you're like, hey, you know what? This is an amazing Twitter post, and they just really hit everything that I wanted to share about whatever topic I'm going into. I'm sorry, but again, you have to make sure it's from a solidly peer-reviewed journal. No Instagram posts, no social media outlets. One of the big things I'm always looking at is making sure that this is primarily a formal writing assignment. And then he also had the date article was published and the page number, how many pages were in there. If it's 34 to 39, if it's 1,550 to 2,922, all of that, that's what you're putting in there is the page number. Again, this is only for one article that you're highlighting. This is not, so don't try to put all your articles into just this one form. Again, I urge you not to do that because again, you will lose points. Initially, I'll look at it and think, okay, what's going on? I'll even email you if that is the case, and I'll ask, what is going on? Because again, this is for one, again, complete one article summary. So again, that's for just one article alone. Again, we're moving onwards. Summary information, it's worth 1 point. Briefly state the main idea or thesis presented in this article. That's one of the things you're having to dissect it now. You're saying, okay, what are the key concepts that I'm gathering? Because again, some of these articles, believe it or not, you may end up using them in another format, in another class. But one of the big things is I don't urge you to use the same paper for another class. That's horrible. That's wrong. It goes against the academic integrity of the course. But within that, the articles itself, again, that's one of the things is articles can be passed along. Articles, again, not your paper. Let me just reiterate, articles. Summarize the most important information, ideas, facts, etc. presented in this article that can be applied to your research paper. 200 words or more. I know I'm trying to make you guys write. I know it's horrible. I'm sorry. This is college. Worst case scenario, you learn to actually write. That's one of the big things. Because again, some individuals have stated, I don't like writing. Well, I'm sorry. That's college. But within that, you're gonna I'm urging you to write 200 words or more. Again, 200 words or more. Don't just highlight something and say, you know what, this is my word, this is my work and everything else, and it's only 150. I'm urging you to write a little more. I know it's a lot of work. I know I'm adding a lot of things to you and a lot to your plate. But again, 200 words, it's not that much. Most individuals, as you get better and better, initially what you're learning to do is write lengthier and lengthier pieces of work. So within that, personal reaction, 1 point. What was the most surprising or interesting thing you found out by reading this article? And that's what one of the things is what is the purpose of writing stated? What is your purpose? Why are you using this article? That's one of the things is why is it so important to your paper? That's one of the things you're looking at is what was the most interesting and surprising thing you found? What questions do you have after reading this article? Do you have any questions? What would you like to learn more about? Again, this is allowing you to be critical thinkers. That's one of the big things you're looking at is thinking outside the box. A lot of individuals are just looking at, okay, what is the answer to A? What is the answer to B? That's not what you're looking at with psychology. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you're looking at and interpreting things from numerous perspectives, and I think that's one of the things you're coming across is when you're reading a lot of the work that is highlighted, you're coming across different viewpoints, and that's one of the things you're critically examining every single perspective. What are the keywords, topics for further research did you find reading this article? And I think that's one of the big things is going farther than just simply what is stated. That's where this can be written and you can utilize this as a guide when you're writing your conclusion, saying, this is what I found, and this is something that still needs to be further articulated, further research, further down the line. I didn't find enough research on this. So within that, this is where you're highlighting those things. These are the aspects of critical thinking. So now the critical outlook. 200 words or more, I know. Another 200 words or more Outlook. It's horrible. I'm sorry. But within that, I want you to discuss the pros and cons of your topic within this article. In other words, what's the pros? If you have no cons, just state that. Say, hey, you know what? And again, I want you to utilize formal writing. Don't just simply put there was no there was no cons. Okay. Delve deeper. Again, I'm helping you. I'm trying to urge you to write a little more. Again, one of the things that's listed on there says no lists. Some individuals will just highlight pros, 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 and then cons, 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 cons. I don't want that. I want you to state what are the pros. I want you to state what are the cons, not so much simply a listing. I don't want a listing. I don't want a laundry list. And lastly, paste your abstract on this page. I cannot urge this enough. This is essential so that you're able to, one, indicate what the overall outlook has been and will be. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. So again, the due date is on the 22nd. So you have let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days to complete this whole packet, whole initial packet. So if you go on to the article summary assignment, it is there. So I wish you all the best. Again, most of you should already have the article, so this is where you're going to just plugging things in and everything else. And as you're moving along, this helps you to better understand what direction you're going. Sometimes you're going to come across articles that you thought were perfect for your given research paper, but as time progresses, you're like, hey, it's not. So again, that's where you're having to look and choose carefully and everything else. So within that, I am out. So have an awesome weekend. Best to get started on this as soon as possible. So I shall see you guys hopefully by Sunday. I'll start posting up some more videos and everything else. So have an awesome day. All right. Thank you.